For Mother's Day this year, I got flour from church, just one. So I decided to go to Costco and buy it some friends. Now, you guys, I really don't like gardening. I'm not good at it. I'm really only good at growing kids, and that's because they yell at me when they need to be fed or watered. But I decided to at least give this a try. We wanted to do something different with our front flower bed, and so I went to Costco and got these. I like Costco, just in case you can't tell. I got these three planters. They weren't very big, but they were kind of what I could handle. Excuse me. So I'm fighting. There's a plastic piece at the bottom that you have to turn a certain way in order to let all three release. So I'm fighting with that right now. Anyways, I apologize immediately for the awkward camera angle. I had no idea when I had started putting all of this together that I was completely out of the picture. But you'll get a nice full view of me a little bit later. Now, one of the reasons I really don't like gardening is because it gets your nails all dirty. Um, it the potting soil stinky like manure. Um, it's just not fun for me. I find that I get more out of going up into the mountains or taking a walk around like a big old lake or a pond or something. Just surrounding myself with nature instead of digging my hands into it, I guess. So this was definitely a project of not love, but I didn't want my flower to go to waste. So I started off by putting some rocks. I had a bag of rocks that I like to paint with, but some of them are just not really conducive to painting. So to weigh down the pots and to help keep the soil from clogging up the hole at the bottom, I was going through and putting down a layer of rocks, but also keeping all of the ones that I thought would be good for painting at the same time. So boring. Well, I'm going to read you a poem. This is a poem that I wrote years ago, back when depression was bad and I needed an outlet and I had kids. So doing things like painting and things like that were, well, I still have kids, but they're grown up. Now they let me do things like painting. But this was one that I had written after I had tried planting a whole bunch of things and just felt nothing. And it kind of goes to show that, gardening isn't for everybody, but it is for some people. So it's called Soiled Fingers. Silently she drops to her knees, soiled fingers probing, entranced by unearthed symphonies of life, unnourished by the sun. She seeks for something, though uncertain if this will be the road to mend the hollow that was once called her soul. For tales has she heard, repeated endlessly by prattling mouths, of the healing powers of the earth. And so she plunges her hands into the land, pulling weeds and planting flowers, as she's seen many others do. Silently she searches, but hears only echoes in the hollow. Sadly for her, there is no solace, only dirty nails. That's the sad truth of me and gardening. And that being said, I am pleased with the results. It's not like horrible or, I didn't have a horrible time. Although when I opened that bag of potting soil, oh my goodness, that was so smelly. So I'm just not made for gardening. One of my favorite stories to tell is my next door neighbor who is 91. And this was like 15 years ago or so. But we both planted marigolds one year, and luckily we didn't plant them right next to each other. That would have been even more embarrassing. But my marigolds, they stayed about the same size as when I had planted them. They grew, they didn't die, so that was something. But my neighbor, I don't know what kind of magical green thumb she has, but by the time the summer had ended, they were these giant, like, bushes of marigold. It was the most extraordinary thing. And all I could think was, how did you do that? I thought I took care of mine, but I just don't have that green thumb. I don't. I'm thinking mine is like brown. It's just not. I mean, yeah. Anyways, um, what's really funny about my pants is this happens with all of my pants. Like anything that's like a capri, or if it has any kind of binding or elastic at the bottom, my right leg always winds up around the knee, while my left leg is just fine down at the bottom. I don't know why that happens. It just does. I wasn't sure if I'd have enough potting mix to do all three, but it turned out I did. So I had waited to put rocks into this one until I knew for certain. And you'll actually see me this time around. Like, this one goes in the potting mix. This one's mine. This one goes in the pot. This one's mine. So I may not necessarily like gardening. I really don't like pulling weeds. I can handle it in the spring, but once summer hits and they are just out everywhere, I go nuts. But I do like nature itself. I love going up in the mountains. It's one of the reasons I love living in Utah, is we are surrounded by mountains. Um, and going up there is actually what heals my soul a whole lot more than this. But I will say I am proud of what I did. I was really pleased with how they looked at the end, and believe it or not, this was like 2 weeks ago, and they're still alive. I haven't managed to kill them off yet. Of course, we haven't really gotten super hot, and we're almost to June. Like, I think this time last year, well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know for sure what it was like this time last year. Things have really shifted and changed over the last several years, where it used to get so hot so early, and now it seems to be holding on to the cold for even longer. So now we're getting to the part where I actually dig in, and I figured, let's do Mother's Day plant first, because, it just seems right. It was the initial plant. It's supposed to go, it's oh, now I forgot what it's called. But it's supposed to grow quite a bit, so it should stand out in the back of the pot. And then the rest that I got are petunias. I was kind of hoping that I would get different colors of petunias, but they're all the same. So, not a bad thing, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you go and buy a pallet of something, as opposed to heading over to a garden center and seeing if there's just a couple little things you can get. But my hope is that they will grow and be pretty for at least a good month. I'll take a month. Anyways, I do hope that you enjoyed the video today. I know it's almost done, and it's not the most impressive of things, but considering the fact that I really don't like this, um, I'm also proud that I actually sat down and got it done. I think my husband was too. He came home and goes, "You planted your flowers?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, that was the whole intention." But that's how shocked he was. I hope you'll hold on to the end. At the end, there is um, this funny little thing where I find three snails. Just snails. Gotta love those snails. Anyways, guys, make it a great day. If you don't plant flowers in real life, plant them in fake life, I guess. I don't know what else to say. I just love you guys. Have a good one. I haven't even really started yet, and I've already lost one snail to down in there. This little guy's traveled quite a distance.
And then this guy shows up. Some kind of snail gathering.